just mounted and installed this light fixture that I bought from Amazon to the outside of my home. They're okay. They're not too expensive. They're probably worth about a third of what we paid for. You may notice these lines, little bar things they put on are not straight. I mean, this one here slopes down. It's like a quarter of an inch or a half inch deeper on the left side than they are on the right side. They're not perfect. They are caulked on the inside here, so you can see where the caulk is, which makes them water resistant for the outside. But the biggest thing was I've modified these, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment here. But I've modified these from a side mount where the lamp used to be mounted on the side and the light fixture used to sit way over here on the side. We'll show you in another picture, or shortly here, how that works. But they're pretty cool. Okay, so now I've got the mounting plate, got the little package with the wire nuts in it. I've got the two mounting studs that I will use to mount the mounting ring. I'm going to pull the wire out as far as we know it needs to go. Let's mount this over it. I want to make sure that these two bolts are side to side, approximately level, and then choose the appropriate corresponding holes to mount this to. This is going to be a very easy installation, it looks like. I'll get started. You can use a screwdriver if you want to tighten it up, but I prefer to use my impact driver. Make sure I'm doing it in, not out. And get it snug, not too tight yet, because not too tight it bends it. But I want to make sure these are about level. Now these things can move around a little bit, but I'm pretty happy with how level it is. I like, let's keep it up that way. So I'm going to go ahead and, once I got it level, I can tighten it up a little bit the rest of the way. Tighten it up the rest of the way. Okay, now comes the easy part. This is the part you want to be careful on. Of course, I'd always tell you to use an electrician to do this type of stuff, but honestly, there's not a whole lot of risk in what we're doing here. So I'm going to take the 3 wire nuts off. I'd always prefer to use the existing wire nuts. They're usually a little bit better quality than what we get in the in these packages from China. But what I do is I stick my stranded wire into it, hold the wire out best I can, tighten it. So I'm just going to want to do a little spring back, but I want to tighten it, make sure it's quite snug. Next one I do is I twist these the stranded wires that come off the white and the black. Now, generally speaking, the black is the hot, but on a light fixture you can always have, white can always be a hot. Well, it should be, but just be careful. Know your house, know your wiring, but usually the black is the hot. I'm going to stick that in there, get it into where I know it's working, and grabbing. Once again, twist it to where I know I've got plenty of grab. I can feel it twisting the wire around it. Then I have, okay, I do the same thing with the black. I've already tightened it up a little bit. I'll put it in so she's tight. Yes, I can do this with one person. But I'll just tighten that up, make sure it's grabbing, which is doing fine. It's grabbed very well. So then we'll stuff this stuff back in on the plate. Oh, the one thing I haven't done yet, I like to do is I like to wrap the ground wire around the mounting plate. Just as an extra precaution, I'm going to wrap it around in a clockwise manner. And that way, as it tightens up clockwise, it usually pulls the wire in closer as you tighten it. And that's plenty. I don't need to, once again, over tighten it. Make sure my wires are fit nice and snug in here. Find the studs. And you know what? That stud is just a little bit too long there. So I'm going to take this down, let it hang for just a minute. And I'm going to push this one in just a few twists. There's my crescent wrench. But I've already tightened it up as many times as I need to get it. It's plenty tight. Okay, time to get my stud cap things. Screws, make sure the wires aren't pinched around anything. Stick it on here. And I'm going to go ahead and keep it as straight up and down as I can visually. And you can, it doesn't really matter if it's level or not at this point. What you really want to do is make sure it's visually, aesthetically level. Tighten those as tight as you can with your fingertips without going overboard. And then I like to use these Econo lights, Econo Smart light bulbs I got from Home Depot. They're very simple to use. They're LEDs. They look really cool. Where this is an exposed light fixture, you kind of want to have something that looks good. It looks pretty centered. I'm going to go turn the light fixture on now. There we go. Okay, the basic tools to modify the lamp fixture that I've just ordered from Amazon require a drill with a 10 drill bit type configuration. I have some heat resistant tape and the basic tools here you see in front. I really don't even need the screwdriver, but we'll start with that. First thing we do is we open up this box and we see the parts. It's packaged with plenty of cardboard coming from China. You know, cardboard must be cheap. We'll save those for the installation in a minute. But take off the nuts. It has the mounting ring that will mount on the wall. Wires, light fixture. One of the things I don't like about this is this is mounted on the side. By doing that, you take a small light bulb, this is one of the smaller CFLs, and you can see that the light is all over here. It's not centered. That's a problem to me. I don't like this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to modify the light so we can have it centered in the light fixture. So the first thing I do, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to take off the mounting. There's going to be 2 friction type washers. Get this wire out of the way. Pull these up. And just pull this off like that. Drop that configuration, drop the socket out. Now what I want to do is I want to mount it right in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Sharpie. It should be about 2.5 inches apart. So if I'm going 2.5 inches, let's go 1.25 inches to the center. So somewhere in that center there. It doesn't have to be precise. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up about, I want to go somewhere between 3/4 and 1 inch up. So if I go back to the top, I can see that there's a mounting plate that's about 1/2 inch up from the base here. So 3/4 is a pretty good distance. I'm going to go a little bit more than 3/4. So, the other thing I want to do is verify how deep I want to make that hole. If I notice that hole there, it's it looks like about a 1/2 inch hole. I do not want to go past the 1/2 inch, and so to help me do that, I'm going to put a piece of tape on the 1/2 inch mark to make sure I don't go past that point. I do not want to go past the 1/2 inch mark. That just helps me know what's going on. How I did. Check the wire shavings out. Let's see if my wires will fit in there. Notice feeding my wires back through the hole on the top of the device. put one of the washers back on. Doesn't really matter if it's up or down. Put the ground wire back on in the middle. Yeah, someone's going to be out there complaining that I should have removed all the papers there, but still, it's going to ground it properly and adequately because it's tied to the nut, which ties it to the light fixture, which the old days we didn't worry about grounding things anyway. So I'm going to hold the light fixture approximately in the middle. It's bendable, so if I have to move it a little bit, it's not going to kill anybody. Move it a little bit. These things are fairly flexible. I'm going to tighten it up, not too tight, but snug. Much more wrench than I need, but feels very snug there. And I can see that that's about in the middle. Now, one thing here, I'm going to put a piece of tape on the back. I got some tape here, heat-resistant thermal tape. I'm going to put it over the back, over that hole. And for the fun of it, I'm going to get a little Sharpie and color it in just a little bit so it doesn't stand out so much. I could put it on the outside, but I like it on the inside.